My name's Jason, Jason Wright, J-Dub on my channel, and this is my 88 Lincoln Town Car. Now, as you can see, the body is not in the greatest shape. We can come up close here and just look. I've had to spray paint some rust off of it. The door right there in pretty bad shape. There's some obvious body things. There's a dent right there. I've never had problems with it. The bumper, though, is in pretty bad shape. I don't know if you can see that well, but the bumper, she's in pretty bad shape. She's cracked in the middle. And you go around this side, still some rust. But those aren't the important things to look for on old cars like this. In the future, I'm going to do a lot of repair videos on older domestic vehicles. There may be a few others thrown in, but I do like to do this as a lot of channels are not doing videos like these anymore on older 5.0s like this. And lots of people had them, I noticed. But one thing you really want to look for, well, many things you want to look for, is what I'm about to come up with here. When it comes to old cars, you don't want to look at the body, really. The body, especially when you're only paying $700, $1,000. I paid $700 for this car, and it's gotten me around for the past 3 years, and the thing runs without a tick, and it shifts great. So what you want to do is you want to just make sure, because even little things that don't work necessarily isn't going to be the huge problem. You want to make sure the mechanicals are down. First, the thing I usually check first is, does it look like it's been in any accidents? Even though that this is here, this is probably just wear over time. Something probably happened where they dinged the door and then it just started sticking and eventually got to that point. This, they may have bumped something, but that's just small body damage. I'm talking about creases not lining up with other creases. Like along the doors, you want to make sure they line up correctly, all right here, which these do. One thing I check for all the time is if we get under here, let's get some light down here for you guys. You want to make sure there's no leaks, really. And yeah, it's like, okay, let's see if we can get a better view of this stuff up here. Yeah, as you can see, my drain pan, my oil pan, it definitely, the drain plug has a leak. But besides that, if you look under this and down at the ground right here, you can't see anything leaking out. That's one thing you want to check for. The most important thing is you don't want to worry about rust too bad, like when it comes to like exhaust and stuff, because you can always get that replaced. But my thing is check the frame. Check the frame. The frame is what you don't want to have any rust on it. Now, as you can see, mine's good. These old town cars were built to have frames that don't rust up really bad. Okay? So these are things that you're going to check for if you're just buying a cheap car to get you around. Don't be picky about what's going on about the little things that can be fixed. You just want to go ahead and fix the things that can't be fixed. Now, another thing you want to really check for is, say, you go up on the odometer. Now, does that, it's obviously doesn't got 6,000 miles on it. It's 106,000. But you want to look real close. You want to make sure you don't see any hairs or fingerprints on the inside, because a lot of times that'll indicate the mileage has been turned back. And people try to do that a lot. People are really skeezy nowadays when it comes to that type of stuff. You want to check the seats. I mean, the seats can be replaced, but for the most part, that's something you don't need to worry about with an older type vehicle like this. You want to make sure that you want to check under the hood, make sure there's no oil in your antifreeze. You want to make sure you don't hear any ticks or knocks. There's many things that you want to check for. For example, my hood, I pop it, it doesn't pop all the way. So what I have to do is I have to go to my trunk. These old Lincoln emblems right here. Alright, now we got it. I have to go to my trunk and I have to get tools out to get this job done. Because my trunk just doesn't, my hood doesn't open right. These are actually known for being bad. They won't stay open because the hydraulic levers on them go bad. But if this ever happens to you, find a space, just stick it up under there. Now, what I'll do is I'll set you down for a second. You put your hand up under there and reach for the lever. Okay? And you prop it up with the bat. This is I'm showing you the ghettoest way that you can do this, so don't hate on me. And now things you want to check for is you definitely want to check the oil. You want to make sure it hasn't been run low on these. Your oil dipstick is actually over here. You want to pull it out. Let's see if I can get you an accurate. Now you want to wipe it down first. Put it down in there. And you want to be right in them hatches. I'm a little bit low, but nothing that can't be added later in time. Also, another thing you want to check is you want to check, like I said earlier, the inside of your radiator. Now mine is a little bit difficult but the fluid, it's nice and green still. It's nice and green. There's some rust on there, but it's probably an old cat. Things you want to check for are just see if you can see any leaks from above. Like there, I've got a small valve cover gasket leak, as you can see, but that's nothing that can't be fixed. If you're looking for a cheap car to buy, you just buy a cheap car. I mean, and you need to get around, so the old 302 Menacing 5.0 with 150 horsepower, but a whole lot of torque. So anyways, I thought I'd just go over some of the little things to look for if you're just buying a car for cheap. Of course, the inspection is way more thorough, and you're allowed to be way more picky when it's a car that costs a lot more. But I bought this car for $700. And you just want to make sure that the important things that make it run and go and stop are working. So that's the end of my video. It's time to sign off. Click above your head. Click above my head. I'm stupid. To subscribe.